Alright, so let's get started. First of all, respect for you on clicking on this guide because you have decided to educate yourself on how you can actually get abs as a chubby guy and you really care about your fitness and you're willing to improve and to get a physique that you truly want. Now, first of all, why should you listen to me about how to get abs, right? Now, as a disclaimer, I'm going to say that I'm not a doctor or medical professional, right? You should probably just take my advice with a grain of salt, but I'm just a student who managed to achieve this physique at the age of 20, right? I have pretty defined abs and a really impressive physique, in my opinion, right? So, if you want to achieve something like this, if you want to achieve something similar to this, I suggest you continue watching this guy. And here's the thing, you may be thinking, oh, I used to be naturally gifted with abs. No, that's couldn't be further from the truth, right? I was always this chubby and fat, shy kid who would always get made fun of because of my excess belly fat on my body, right? As you can see, right, in my first photo, that was when I was about 10 or 11 years old, and just look at my face. I was round, chubby, fat, and every single day in primary school, I would always eat like fries, you know, drink sweet sodas, eat junk food, all that kind of thing every single day at school. Is it any surprise that I got to this state? Of course not. And as you can see in the second photo, this was when I was, I think, about 13 or 14 years old, where I was still chubby and I was skinny fat. I remember this photo I took because I thought like if I could manipulate the shadows and angles a bit, I could actually look decent. And yeah, I don't know why. I remember I took this photo and I posted it on my Instagram back then, thinking I, I had a good physique. But to be fair, this was how I used to look like without abs, fat, chubby. But then here's the promise I have in this video for you. Alright, I'll teach you the foolproof method I used to get abs as a chubby slash skinny fat guy in my teens. If you used to look like me and you want to make a similar transformation, I promise to give you the foolproof method to do that. This video is not for everyone, alright? If you are someone who really doesn't care about your health and fitness, or you are unwilling to sacrifice anything to achieve your fitness goals, you want to stay exactly where you are, you want to do the same things you have always been doing, or you want a 30-minute workout which will give you abs in 30 days. Unfortunately, I'm not the guy for you, alright? We're probably not compatible and you should probably not waste your time to continue in this video. However, if you are none of these people, congratulations. Welcome to the video. Now, who am I? My name is Sean, right? And my mission is to inspire as many young guys as possible to develop into healthier and fitter versions of themselves, right? And I share like my stories, my experiences I have, so I can help you avoid the mistakes I made and to learn from the things I did wrongly or the things I did right, so you can make far faster progress in your own fitness journey. And subscribe if that sounds awesome to you. So here are the four things you need in order to get abs as a chubby guy, right? First of all, you need the understanding of the abs. Don't worry, I won't be too scientific here. It will be just something simple to understand. What are abs and the ways to get abs. Then secondly, I will go on into diet, which is basically how do you structure your diet so you can actually get abs, like counting calories, do you need it, what foods to eat, what foods to avoid. And the third thing is basically the workouts, what kind of ab workouts you need, whether you need cardio, what routine do you need to follow. And then finally is the mindset, which is basically what kind of mindset you need to have in order to get abs. And honestly, let me tell you, the mindset part is the most important part of any workout routine, and that's why I saved the best for the last. So make sure to stick to the end. All right. Now let's first get into our understanding. Now, what are abs? Right? Abs, right? In the past, I used to really want to get abs, but I didn't really understand what they were until you start to understand what they are and just reverse engineer your way to get it. Now, there are muscles in the abdominal region of your body, which basically means like your stomach area, right? And here's the thing, every single person has abs. Even the most obese person in the world also has abs. But the difference between people who have visible abs and non-visible abs is that they have people with non-visible abs have too much fat covering their abs, so they are unable to see them, right? Because they are hidden underneath a layer of fat, and that's basically how it works, right? Abs are basically just muscles you have in your body, like your biceps. Everybody have them, but whether they are visible or not is another story. Now, of course, now that we understood what exactly are abs, right? What are the ways we can actually get abs, right? Only two ways, right? Since they are muscles that are covered by a layer of fat, the first way is to lose the fat covering your ab muscles. That sounds logical, right? When the fat is lost, then your abs start to become more visible. Am I right? And then the second way, obviously, is to make the ab muscles bigger, right? You can definitely train your ab muscle so they have become thicker, and then they can start to show through your fat. But obviously, the best thing is to do both together. So as you lose the fat, your ab muscles also get thicker at the same time, you get abs way quicker. Now we understood that exactly what are abs and the ways to get abs, which are basically to lose your fat or to enlarge the ab muscles, right? Now let us move on into the diet part, right? First of all, counting calories. Everybody talks about counting calories. Calories in, calories out. Yes, scientifically, counting calories work. They do, right? Because if you burn more calories than you consume, you will definitely lose weight. I guarantee that. But practically, it's a huge nightmare. Let me ask you, would you want to track every single morsel of food that you put into your mouth? Track every single gram, every single liter? It's a nightmare, right? Honestly, I remember there was this one time when I was first getting started into fitness. I didn't really know about much. So I always heard about counting calories. I used to track like my calories. I believe that tracking calories was the only way to go. And what I did was basically every time I went out to eat with my family, every time, like, in Chinese culture, we like to order a few dishes and we share. I basically had to take whatever portion of food I had and then ask my mom, hey mom, how much oil do you think I put in this portion? They put in this portion over here. How much soy sauce they put? How much how much how big is the portion? Is it 50 grams, 20 grams? Oh my god, let me tell you, that is a freaking nightmare. And from that day on, I never counted calories again, and I still managed to achieve my physique now. Right? So basically, I did not count calories to get my abs, although counting calories can work. So you may be asking, like, how did I do it without counting calories? So you're in for a treat. I'll show you my secret strategy in the next slide, which is basically what I eat. Because honestly, what you eat has a way bigger impact than the amount of calories you eat. Trust me. All these fitness influencers nowadays saying that, oh, 2000 calories of burgers is the same as 2000 calories of salad. Bro, trust me, it's not that simple as that, right? Yes, technically, you will lose the same amount of weight eating 2000 calories of burger versus 2000 calories of salads, but there's so much more that goes beyond just your weight, right? There's health and stuff like that. Anyways, what you should eat is basically just high quality natural foods, right? Basically single ingredient foods. What do I mean by single ingredient foods? Let's say you eat a hamburger, right? What's inside the hamburger? Oh, there's like maybe there's beef, right? Then there's palm oil. Then there's what? Bread comes from flour, water, sugar, all different kind of ingredients. Don't eat that kind of things. If you want to eat meat, just eat beef, right? Just pure beef. Or just if you want to eat chicken, just eat pure chicken. Don't eat the chicken sausages, all these kind of processed kinds of foods. So basically, I eat like very minimally processed foods. I follow the 80-20 rule, which basically means that 80% of my food are like high quality natural foods, which are single ingredient, and 20% the leeway I give to sometimes a bit more processed food. I don't eat like ultra processed food like junk food or sodas, burgers, stuff like that. I really try not to, but maybe 20% I leave it to like rice, bread sometimes, and pasta. But even then, that is kept minimal. Then here are some of my favorite low calorie options which help me lose the fat easily, which is basically and also fully natural and healthy as well. The first one is melons. Well, melons are extremely good. They are high in fiber and they are low in calories and they taste sweet. So I basically eat this. I could eat a whole watermelon in a day, no problem. I eat this to fill me up. And then berries also can work. All kinds of vegetables, right? Especially green leafy vegetables, they're good. And chicken, fish, and beef. I know that fish and beef sometimes they can be super oily and they have a high amount of fat, but not to worry, that fat will help you because fat help you satiate your body better and it makes you feel easier. And after all, these fats are healthy fats. Don't listen to all these. You don't have to listen to all the fat doctors telling you that oh fat is bad for you, right? Fat from meat is absolutely good for you. So these are basically what I eat, which help me lose weight quickly. What are the foods that I avoid? Right? Avoid like I said just now, ultra processed food, sodas, sweets, chips, cereals, fast food, pastries, all that kind of bullshit. Come on guys. You guys are not kids anymore, I suppose. And you don't need to be eating this kind of food to really get dopamine from. Alright, once you get used to eating like really high quality natural foods, you feel even more happy and fulfilled by eating them. You don't like have you guys ever noticed like when you eat like total binge eating junk food and stuff, afterwards you feel like shit, although you felt absolutely amazing when you were eating them? Exactly. These foods are simply not good for your body. Right? And also avoid like foods such as rice, pasta, bread, like I said just now. I rather keep them to a minimal amount because these foods are still high in calories and they don't fill you up that much. Now, what is my philosophy? Why is my philosophy behind that? Instead of just counting calories, I focus on the quality of the food itself. Here's the thing: because the quality of food is much more important than the calories of food that you eat. Now, I want you to imagine, right? Our caveman ancestors who didn't obviously didn't track their calories at all. Were they fat? Were they overweight? Were they obese? Probably not, right? I want you to imagine that. Because you see, as time goes by, right, highly processed food become more accessible and the rate of obesity skyrocketed. Skyrocketed. Just look at this graph over here, right? In 1960s, obesity in US was probably only 10.7%, and all the way until 2010 it's 35.9%, and projected in 2030 is going to be 50%. And this is followed by the rise of fast food. Obviously, back then, fast food wasn't as accessible and it was much more expensive as well. Now, everybody, even if you're coming from a lower financial background, you'll still be able to afford fast food pretty easily. Why our caveman ancestors could eat as much as they want and not get fat? Because our body, when we eat natural foods, have a signal that tells us when we're full. We have hormones that tell us, okay, we should stop eating and I'm full, I'm satiated. However, when this ultra processed food came out, they were like obviously modified and engineered by these brilliant scientists who make these foods addictive to us, right? They make these food so that our hormones would not notify us that we were full and they will cause us to constantly crave more, which causes us to consume more, which gives them obviously more profit. And that is why ultra processed food should honestly be avoided because they hijack your body's natural response to feeling full and satiated from food and forces you to crave even more of these junk unhealthy foods. That's why I always preach stick to natural foods and your body will let you know when it's full. Now that we covered the diet part of like getting abs, which is basically you don't have to count calories, right? As long as you stick to like pure natural foods, try to avoid ultra processed foods as much as possible, and that these foods hijacking our natural response to getting full from that and causes us to crave more and which causes us to overeat. Now let us move on into workout part of getting abs, right? Now in terms of ab exercises, right? I only do three different only do three ab exercises. You absolutely do not need to like follow all the kind of ab workouts you see on YouTube, which has like 10 different variations. You could if you enjoy it, but I only really do three to save my time. And these three are like scientifically proven to activate the abs the most, and they are absolutely easy to do. Right? The first is like hanging leg raises. Second is the weighted crunches for the upper abs, and the hanging leg raises for the lower abs, and then planks. so I can improve my core stability. These three, you're done. Unless you want to add in even more, and you're done. Now, moving on to cardio, right? Now, so many people ask whether you need to do cardio. Come on, I used to be that guy who wouldn't do cardio, right? I used to believe that, oh, cardio kills my gains, I don't want to lose my muscle. But truth to be told, I was just being fucking lazy, right? I just hated cardio and I didn't like the feeling and I regret it, right? You see, in the first photo, there was me before cardio, and this was me lifting already. This was last year, a photo of me last year. And I already had been lifting for 4 years, and just look how fat I was, right? I had muscle, but super poor definition. I had barely any abs, and I just looked horrible, right? In this photo. And then I started to pick up more cardio, right? Now I've been into running for a few months now, and I absolutely love it. I probably run 20 to 30 kilometers a week. And just look at me now in this after photo. Much more definition, much more leaner. I have quite good abs, right? And that is why you need to do cardio, right? It won't kill your gains. In fact, I have gotten bigger, I have lost fat and gained weight at the same time, which means I was gaining muscle. And I look far better in this picture, in the picture on the right than the picture on the left. And my performance in the gym has actually improved. So stop being lazy, do your cardio. And the secret to this is to actually pick any form of cardio you enjoy, right? I personally enjoy running. Doesn't mean you have to run. Maybe you can cycle. Maybe you can swim. Maybe you can do something else, right? It doesn't have to be running, all right? You pick something that you truly enjoy. I think like group sports such as like probably basketball, badminton, these kind of things can be extremely fun to play with friends, and probably you should pick them to do as well. Now moving on, in terms of my workout routine, what I do is pretty much this, right? I have like 3 days of lifting weights in the gym, then I have 3 days of cardio, which primarily for me is running, and then 1 day of rest where I do like yoga or something along the lines of that. And then the most important part is just find something that fits your daily schedule, because you don't need to follow my workout routine, honestly, because let's say you're a super busy person who is unable to lift weight 3 days a week, 2 days a week is perfectly fine. Or you want to schedule a time which works for you, no problem at all. But yeah, most important is having a schedule which you stick to consistently, because consistency is the name of the game. Alright, now that we have covered the 3 app exercises that you need to do, the type of cardio you need to do, and whether you should do cardio or not, which is you absolutely need to, and then we have covered like the workout routine that I follow, which you could take some inspiration from. Now, finally, we will move on to the last part. This is basically the mindset, the most important, the best part of the whole guide, right? The mindset, which is basically discipline and patience, right? Now, you absolutely need discipline to get apps. That's why apps, they are so attractive to most people, because it shows that this person has discipline as a trait. Because impossible to get apps if you're not disciplined at all, right? And what is discipline? My definition of discipline personally is this, which is doing the work required even though you don't feel like doing it, right? Because you see, there will be days where you want to skip workouts, right? I've been there, done that, right? Maybe you just woke up late, you're lying on your bed, you don't feel like moving, you don't feel like moving your body, you just want to laze around the whole day. If you are truly dedicated to actually getting abs, you will just do it anyway. You will just pull yourself out of bed and put yourself in the gym, or put yourself through the workout. And here's my hack: make it easier to be disciplined, which I follow. Which is basically you have a set plan every single day, and you stick to it no matter what. Because let's say the night before, let's say my routine is that I have to go to the gym on Wednesday, even Wednesday morning, right? Then the night before, on Tuesday night, I purposely plan that, okay, tomorrow in the morning, the first thing I do when I wake up is to hit the gym. So when I wake up, I don't need to have to think twice, right? It's already on my paper and I need to get it done. And that process just makes it far, far easier. Alright? Now moving on, basically it's patience, right? Because here's the thing, you can do absolutely everything right, but it will still take time to get there, right? I remember there was this time like I wanted to get abs when I was 14 or 15. I started like doing like those 30-minute get abs workout videos. And I was doing them every day for about a few months. Now seeing my stomach, I wasn't seeing any changes in my stomach area, right? I wasn't seeing any abs. I was still fat. There was no changes at all. Because here's the thing, although that was totally shit, right? I don't suggest you train your abs every single day. Follow those 30-minute ab workout videos. It will still take time to get there. Because using this logic, right? If you took 10 years to accumulate this extra fat in your body, do you think you're really going to lose it all in 10 days, let alone 10 weeks? Probably not, right? You may lose a huge portion of it, but definitely not all of it, right? In fact, don't be demotivated, right? You don't need like 10 years to lose all that fat, of course not. But even if you lost it all in 1 year or 2 years, that would be an amazing progress. Think about it that way, right? And what you want to do, basically, rinse and repeat, follow the schedule you have given yourself, the routine. Then the best thing to keep yourself motivated is to track your progress using pictures, right? This was what I wish I did. Because no matter how shit you look right now, if you see yourself in the mirror every day, you can't see the big difference. But let's say you decide to take pictures, right? Then you can compare them side by side, and it will make a world of a difference. It will make you feel totally like, wow, I've managed to make this progress by myself. And this causes you to have even more momentum to continue moving forward and continue improving. And that's basically it. I fulfilled my promise that I'll teach you the foolproof method I use to get abs as a chubby and slash skinny fat kid, skinny fat guy in my teens. I have taught you like big abs are muscle, and the way to get abs is by like losing your fat and to build that muscle up. And then I've taught you about the diet. Basically, you don't need to count calories as long as you're eating natural foods and you're avoiding like all these ultra processed foods which are full of sugar and vegetable oils and all these scientifically engineered stuff to make you crave them more. I've explained about workouts, which is basically the three ab workouts that you need to do, and that you should and do cardio and enjoy the cardio that you do. Having a strict workout routine is absolutely essential. And then finally, on the mindset part, which is basically having discipline and doing the work required even when you don't feel like it, and also patience, which is basically no matter if you do everything right, you still need time for it to show. And the best way to stay motivated is by obviously check using progress pictures. Now, if you enjoyed this guide, right, I'm sure you enjoy the next one, which is basically how you can start achieving your fitness goals in 2024. The difference between that guide and this guide is that guide touches a bit more on general fitness, and also it teaches you like even more mindset topics which are also absolutely essential for you achieving your fitness goal of getting abs this year. All right. And also, good news, I'm hosting an online live event on the 15th of June, which is basically Saturday at 9 p.m. GMT plus 8 Malaysian time, right? You can hop on the live. I'll be teaching some topics about nutrition, fitness in my live event, and I'll host it so that you can ask me any questions that you would like to ask, and so I can help you clarify that for you, right? So that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you love it, remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.